Hello everyone, it's Katie M. Reed from katiemreed.com. Welcome to this Friday edition of We Write. Hey Wendy, welcome. I am in the process of reading Logan Wolfram's book, Curious Faith. Hey Asherita, welcome. And I want to read a quote from it for you guys here, so I'm going to turn around. Well, I'm not going to turn around. I'm going to turn my phone around. But I just wanted to read something I read in let's see what chapter this is. Chapter 6, and it's called The Danger. Oh, yeah, glad you caught live too, Asherita. Hey, Tara. So this is just a really simple thing. She's talking about worry. And she says, as I meditate on the scriptures that tell us to cast off anxiety and worry, peering into the center of a flower no larger than my thumb, I am reminded that my worries only serve to cripple my faith and forward movement. I'm going to read that last part again. My worries only serve to cripple my faith and forward movement. And that's on page 111 from Curious Faith by Logan Wolfram. It's coming out, I believe, in March. And you definitely should pick up a copy. I'll show you if there's Logan there. She's the co-founder with, I think, Sarah May of the Illume Conference. I know Wendy is is it called like a community leader, Wendy, over there? Yes, Matthew 6, absolutely, hubby. He's been talking about that with youth group, about not worrying. Yay, Tara. In case you guys missed it, I'm feeling a little bit of pressure today. And I'll tell you why. On Wednesday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, Adam and I did our gender reveal party online, and we have to say it was epic. It was our best scope ever. Okay. It was funny. It was slightly inappropriate. We had my brother-in-law, the Bachelor, come on. We had so much fun that I feel like all this pressure to be funny. I'm usually a pretty serious person. I have funniness to me. My sister, Laura, is hilarious, like all the time. But I can be funny, but it's not necessarily my norm, okay? So that's probably like, wow, she's really funny when she's with her husband. I guess he just brings that out in me. He helps this tightly wound woman unwind. So today is not going to be as good as Wednesday was, but anyway, if you missed it, we are having a girl. Look, pink heart, even though that was for the book launch party. Yes, my husband helps me unwind, which is a good thing. But anyways, for those of you that joined us to watch the replay, thank you for putting up with us. We were enjoying ourselves, and we hope that you were too. So anyways, what I want to share, though, about that quote is our worries can cripple our faith and stop our forward motion, and so can comparison. As writers, it is so easy. Yes, Adam is smoothing everything over, Tara, except brother-in-law has threatened to get us when we least expect it, which is not a good thing, okay? So anyways, we'll see what happens there. But anyways, I'll let you know if we get ambushed ourselves. But what I want to say is, comparison, worry, all those things can cripple our forward motion as writers. I have some writing friends that I am so excited about. They have Hey Julie, they have books coming out, they have huge speaking engagements, and I am thrilled for them. But sometimes when we start comparing what other people are doing, we can feel like what we're doing is lame, or why am I even doing this? It doesn't matter. But I think part of that is a lie that our culture, no, I don't have LuLaRoe on. Is that what you guys are talking about? I'm missing it. You guys are probably just talking amongst yourselves and tuning me out. No, that's okay. But anyway, I think in our culture, you think about like American Idol and X Factor and all these things where like everyone celebrates, the number one person. It's like, be the best. If you're the most recognized, the most talented, whatever, everyone celebrates that. But what if, and I've talked about this a little before, what if you're in the top, what if you were number 25 and you didn't make the top 24? But that was your best. I think sometimes we're so quick to discount, I was only number 25 on American Idol, but it's like, but you were on American Idol, and I think sometimes,
when we compare, we just feel like we don't measure up, and it can tempt us to quit. So I'm going to encourage you, do not quit. I was talking to a lady at church on Sunday, and she has a couple writing friends. And I said, well, to this lady, I said, do you write? Because I think I remembered that she did. And she goes, oh, I journal, and there's just kind of things for me. She goes, I even have a thing on my computer, a folder that says blog, and she kind of files her things away there, and she might never publish it. But you know what? She's not any less successful than someone is that just published a book, because if God's given her that gift and she's using it as he is leading, then that's a success. And I think we can get so quickly crippled and trapped to move forward because we look at what other people are doing and we start to worry and wring our hands and fret. And so I just want to encourage you today that, stay, this is not original with me, but people say, stay in your lane, don't always be like, oh man, but they're doing this and I'm doing this, because I kind of started to do that and I'd forgotten what it was that God told me to do. And I'm competitive and I like to be a driver, but the thing he told me to do as I've been doing this, writing this memoir, you've been talking about this with someone else earlier. Good confirmation, Julie. I get it, guys. Okay, smooth as butter like LuLaRoe leggings. You guys are funny. See, Adam's still funny. He's funny. And I love that about him. He's fun and funny. And he can be serious too. And hubby, the heat is working great. We got our heater fixed again today and it's working. It's very warm. So that is a good thing. So back on track is, do what God has put before you and keep going. You don't want to look, at the end of time, be like, oh, well, God, I really didn't get that done because I was so busy looking at what Tina was doing over here that I just got sidetracked. It's like, as my friend told me, I told you guys this the other day, what has God told you to do? And even if it's not the most popular or the most, it's really unconventional, it's like, follow that and do what he's asked you to do. My friend Cindy Baltima, who comes on at 2:00, you should go check her out in just a minute. She posted a Beth Moore quote. I think I shared it with you the other day about, if God's asked you to do something, you need to do it. Sometimes it means you have to say like 1,000 no's to get to that yes. And sometimes he's told you not to do something, and vice versa. But just today or the other day, my friend invited me to go to If Gathering at their church, which is, about an hour and a half away. And I was so excited, like, oh, that'd be so fun to be able to view that. But you know what? I'm committed to finishing my memoir. And I felt like that would be a really good time where I could be working on it. And so I had to say no to that. Even though it was a really good thing, it would really strengthen me in my faith. I know that God's told me to finish this, and so I need to finish it. So I had to say no to that. So if you want to grow, what do you need to say yes and no to? And sometimes those are hard yeses, and sometimes they're hard no's. But if we're going to do what God's asked us to do, we can't say yes to everything. And hey, Cheryl, welcome. So glad you're here. I'll say that again. If we want to do what God's put before us, we can't say yes to everything. We need to say yes to him and let those other things go, even when they're really good things. And, sometimes people will ask me to guest post. Yes, that is good. Remember, no is a complete sentence. I like that. And I'm saying preach, but he's probably saying preach to yourself there, sister wife, wife, just wife. Anyway, that got weird. But, sometimes we have to say no so that we can get those things done. And I don't know about you guys, but if you're a writer and a speaker, do you ever feel like sometimes people don't get you? Maybe people that live in your town or whatever. I have some friends that do it, but not a lot that are right nearby. And sometimes, I don't know if they're really judging me or it's just that I'm a judgmental person, so I judge people, so then I'm being judged. I don't know. But anyway, sometimes I feel like, the things that I have to say no to sometimes might come across as weird to people. Like, oh, hey, can you help out at this event? Which would be a really helpful thing. And it's like, no, I can't. And maybe it's not that I'm writing, but maybe it's that because I've been writing, I haven't had as much time with my family, and I just need to have that time with my family. So don't say guilty. If the Holy Spirit is leading you, that's my one word for this year is listen, and kind of the tagline is keep step with the Spirit. And I know I'm not going to do it perfectly, but I want to listen to the Spirit because he knows me better than I know myself. He knows what's down the road. I just got a really awesome opportunity to write a proposal to an invitation to write a proposal to do something at a conference this fall. And I mean, this is something I've wanted to do. You know, it was a big honor to be asked, and I really want to do it, but I'm going to have a 4-month-old baby then. And I don't know what this baby's temperament is going to be like. And so I need to talk to hubby about more and pray more. I really want to say yes. But I also know that God knows whether I should say yes or not, because he knows what life will be like at the end of September. And I don't necessarily know. And so sometimes those things are hard when it's something we've been praying about. We're like, oh, this opportunity is finally here. But it doesn't necessarily just mean just because the door has been opened, we still have the responsibility to pray and see if it's a door that we should walk through. So I encourage you to be careful with your yeses and nos. Remember, we talked about this before. Yield before you say yes. And pause before you proceed, unless, of course, God has clearly told you, you are welcome, Julie, unless God has clearly told you, obviously, to do something. You know, if he's like, hey, do you see that homeless guy in the corner? You need to go give him $5. Like, you don't need to, you know, like, even if you thought you heard and you didn't, like, I don't think you're going to be punished for blessing somebody else. Does that make sense? So the other thing is, how can you help someone else grow? I love the story of Nehemiah. Maybe someday I'll be able to write like a study on it or something, but I had my 7-year-old read me out of his comic book Bible. He said, I go, will you read to me today for school? And he said, well, what story? And I said, well, would you read Nehemiah? Because I just love Nehemiah. There's so many good things there. And one of the things that Nehemiah said to the king in this comic book Bible is he said something like, thank you for letting God work through you, or God gave me a yes through you, or something like that. I should have written it down. But basically, God used this king, who I'm guessing was not a believer, right? Not to be confused with a believer, right? Did I say that right? You know, Justin Bieber. Anyway, it was funny in my head. So, you know, God answered Nehemiah's prayer through this king. And I was just thinking, man, what an honor to be the answer to someone else's prayer by something we did, because we're keeping in step with the Spirit. We're answering someone else's prayer. Okay. Yes, that's, yeah, absolutely, Tara. She said she's been chasing after all her until this, but God has a different set of untils in your mind. Absolutely. And you know what, Tara, you could like become miserable chasing after your own, but as you chase after God's, you're going to be fulfilled, even if it's hard. It doesn't always mean it's going to be easy. And that's what I feel with writing this memoir. It's like, I really want to be writing my trade book right now and have an agent and all these things. But God has said, pull back. Finish what I told you to do in the first place. And I really believe he's going to reward that. You know, there's some times where I'm like, oh yeah, I feel like this is really good. And then other times I'm like, oh, this stinks, you know, but the point is I can't compare. I've got to keep putting the next foot in front of the other, because I want to be able to say, yes, that's a great, I love that. Chasing our untils. Awesome, Tara. Are you doing a blog post or is that a book? So, be careful with your yeses and nos. You know, you don't have to get all bent out of shape about it. You know, there is grace. You know, I've heard some people say, hey, if you have, go ahead as if you have a green light and then God will give you a red light. Whereas some people like, I'm not moving at all until I get a green light. But I think God does give us freedom as we're abiding in him. We're not always going to get it right. But if we yield before we say yes, pause before we proceed, and be faithful with what he's asked us to do, I think, yay, Tara, that's exciting. I love it. That's a great title. I don't know if it's a chapter title or book title, but awesome. Hearts for Tara. Give Tara some hearts. But the last thing I wanted to share with you, and it's on the blog today. I hope you can see. This is my Listen necklace. This is my word from Crafty Cash. And I love it because it has a definition on it. And it says the words that you can make out. It said, heed instruction. And I love that because in Revelation, it talks about, you know, if we hear and heed the words in that book, we will be blessed. And so it's like, I don't want to just hear instruction. Adam and I talked about this on one of our Stop Hammock Time Periscopes. We don't want to just like, oh yeah, I know you're talking, but we want to really hear and heed what the person is saying. So if you go over to katiemreed.com, there's a special coupon code for you, and you can get 20% off your own custom made. They have 3 different necklaces. They have this size, which is the regular size. And then they have, oh, that's really good, Tara. You go, girl. Those sound awesome. They also have the mini size. They have a verse of the year if you have a particular verse. And then they also have a bracelet. But you can get 20% off your own word. So I know some of you are doing one word for 2016. And for me, I try to usually do like a piece of artwork or something to remind me of what my one word is. Well, this year I am wearing my one word. And then my friend Tracy Little is a graphic designer, and she created a image for me for only $5, which that took like her no time at all. It would take me hours, to plunk around with it. So it was so worth having her do that. So those are two ways, if you're doing a one word this year, to help you grow, to help you remember, okay, this year I'm focusing on listening. So I want to be careful with what I'm saying yes and no to. And then the last part of it is help someone else grow. As you are sensitive to the Holy Spirit, He can use you to be the answer to someone else's prayer. And so I just want to thank you for joining me. I'm Katie M. Reed from katiemreed.com. This is you should do it. Embrace. I love that. That is awesome. But you can only use the code through January 18th, the 20% off. So be sure you guys get that. And basically, I think what it evens out to is that you get free shipping, because Crafty Cash's shipping is, I think it's like a $3 flat rate. And so that's, I think, about what you would get off your necklace. And I love free shipping when I order things online. But let me know if you guys do get one, post it and tag me in it and hashtag Crafty Cash too, so that we can help celebrate your one word as well. But I am a writer, speaker, photographer, songwriter, singer. I was going to say husband and wife. No, that's not true. I'm a wife and a mom, and this is the Friday edition of We Write. I'll be back Monday at 1:30 for the Monday message, and then hubby and I will be back on Wednesday night at our regular time, 7:30 Eastern time. Although I was thinking it was kind of nice to do it at 9, because I feel like then, at least on the East Coast, kids are in bed. And anyway, so let me know your opinion about that. We might have to change it to that, but we'll let you know if we do. So stay tuned. But have a great day, everyone. And I think hubby's saying that we're going to change it. Are we going to change it, hubby? Is that what you're saying? Because I can let them know right now if you think so. I think that's what he's saying. So, yep. Okay, so 9 p.m. we're going to switch hammock time and that'll be a little later. And I've got a little buddy. You want to say hi to everybody? Here's my buddy who's supposed to be a nap. Say hi.
I'm poopy.
Oh, he's poopy. So I better change him. So I better go. I'm going to say yes to him and getting him a clean diaper right now. And then I'm going to write. Can you say bye-bye?
Bye.
See you later.